Second Saturday morning in November. I know that's a long way off, but we need your help with sponsorships. Bring your families. We have a blast in the kitchen. Michael Grubbs plays tunes, and we danced to Michael Jackson tunes in the kitchen. It's a blast. Last year we raised $8,000, so we were able to give some of that to the scholarship committee. We want to raise $10,000 or more, so help us get a couple more $1,000 scholarships.
We call this event Pancakes for Kids because this is what started the dictionary project way back when, this event. And it has morphed into what it has today, where we have all of the Rotary clubs in Sumner County helping to participate monetarily in that program. But this also now helps our scholarship program, as she said. And we have a feeling that we're going to really need a lot of money this year with everything that's going on. And everybody that works on that scholarship committee, can you raise your hand? Thank you for what you do, because it's tough. You have to decide who gets it and who doesn't. So please come out and help us support that, but more importantly, please help us get donations and sell tickets and sponsorships, and I'm going to let Russ talk about that for a second.
Whoever wants to be on the sales team, apparently I'm heading the sales team this year. So whoever wants to be on the sales team, please come let me know afterwards. I would love to have you. We need as many as possible. Who sponsored it last year? Anyone?
Oh, we got more sponsors than that in here. Come on, right
Oh,
here.
everybody. All right, yeah. We'll be calling on y'all again. We'll need your help again, and we're going to try to look for new sponsorship opportunities. So I need all the help we can get. We need all the help we can get. So please let me know.
One last thing. I'm the head right now of sponsorship. So let me do this. I'm gonna challenge you right now. I sponsored last year, and we just raised up hands about people who sponsored this last year. Not many people raised their hands. So here's my challenge. I'm gonna challenge someone to match me right now, $50. There you go. There's one of them. Who else? There's two. Who else? All right, 3, 4. There we go. So right there, it's $200. Let's keep it going. It's that easy, right? So there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can guarantee we can guarantee you chaos. This is one of our most important fundraisers, and it's also the one that I have the most fun. I got to dance out on Indian Lake Road, and I can tell you I received lots of whistles and cat calls and a few salutes. Well, now we have an announcement, a very important announcement from our own Eddie Roberts. Eddie, please come up here. We already took the picture, right? Okay.
So if Barbara and Heather and Julie can come up. And Jennifer, it's good to have you because it's kind of a closure deal. You started off on the executive committee on this project, so thank you for your efforts. But one of the toughest parts of any project, of course, is raising money. We just raised $200, and it's that we needed to raise with in-kind contributions about $55,000 for the first responders project. So, right when we got started, all of this stuff started hitting. COVID-19, and we had the death of Officer Bristol, and there were a lot of external factors that affected our fundraising efforts. One of the people said, well, you need to go talk to the Memorial Foundation. The Memorial Foundation has a long storied history with this club. Years ago, many of you weren't members at that time, we wanted to do the Veterans Monument at Memorial Park. And that cost, I think, around $300,000. Memorial Foundation stepped up and gave a large chunk of that, and we are eternally thankful for their contribution there. So we went, several of us, Chief Bush went with me, and we went to talk to the Memorial Foundation, Mr. Scott Perry. And at the time when I was really worried, I think I even talked to Keith about concern about raising the money. The response that we got from the Memorial Foundation was amazing. They were all in on this project, and they said, Scott said we got to go through the board process, but we want to help the club with this. So from that, Chief Bush and I, and Joe Beaver also, Joe, I hope you're listening online, we left there really on fire because we knew that we were going to meet our project budget after meeting with the Memorial Foundation. So today we're very proud and pleased to have Mr. Scott Perry. Scott is the Executive Director and CEO of the Memorial Foundation. And Scott, would you please come up and explain to us a little bit about the Memorial Foundation, and the most important thing, present us our check.
Well, thank you, Eddie, and thank you for inviting me to be here this morning. And I want to apologize for missing the meeting last week. For those of you who know me, I'm a stickler for being prompt, being where I need to be on time. And so it tore me up when I realized I had missed the meeting last week. Never complained, never explained, but I do want to tell you why I think I missed the meeting, just because it's somewhat funny. I'm in the downtown Nashville Rotary, and we've not been meeting for the last several months, but it's a standing meeting on my calendar, and I've gotten in the habit of just looking at it and ignoring it because I know we're not going to meet this week. So when I looked at Rotary on my club last Wednesday, I just ignored it. So, I'm sorry for that, but I do want to express my appreciation for you, the Rotary Club here in Hendersonville. You're a model for what a civic club should look like in a community. You have a strong history of being very active and involved in this community. This project in particular really reflects the thoughtfulness and the creativity that you have, and always looking for how you can be an influence and an impact in the community. And so when we heard about this project, when it came out to meet with us back in February, before all the stuff happened in our community, we really thought that this was a good fit for us to give honor and respect and recognition to a very, very important segment of our community. Those first responders who are putting themselves in harm's way each day for our safety, who are experiencing any levels of trauma on a daily basis that can really impact their lives, but for our good. And so, a lot has happened since we first met. First the tornado, and then the virus. We as a funder had to call a number of emergency meetings with our board to really strategically think through how we can get support out there quickly to support essential services that are meeting important needs in our community. And so I appreciate your patience with us during that process, because we had to defer action on this request until we could get some semblance of where we are. We're way out ahead of our budget, as you can imagine, on our giving year to date. We're going to have to make some tough decisions on the balance of this year to get to some sense of a balanced budget by year end. But this was a project that our board really wanted to step up and be a part of, and I'm glad they did. So a little history about, you want to share a little bit about the history of the foundation. We're from the cell of Nashville Memorial Hospital that goes back to 1965. We sold the hospital in April of '94. So we've been an endowment from the creation of the cell of that hospital since 1994. Most hospital conversion foundations are just very, very health focused. Our board from the very beginning wanted to be broader than that. We have a mission of improving the quality of life for people in our community. Those communities that the hospital served, and certainly Sumner County was a community that a lot of our employees live, as well as a lot of our patients live. So health, human services, education, projects like this, I'm thankful that we have the flexibility to be able to say yes to a project like this. So on behalf of the Memorial Foundation's Board of Trustees and our staff, it's my pleasure to present a check to the Hendersonville Rotary Foundation in the amount of $20,000.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, and thank you. Before the meeting, I told you I knew J.D. Elliott, and it is amazing. When you said 1994, I was like, wow, you all have been doing this for 26 years. That is amazing. Talk about a gift to our community. Thank you very much. And thank you, Chief Bush, for all you do for us. We're not finished.
Okay, drum roll, please. We've been working on this since when?
Really, it's since last year.
Okay. We have $9,800 in in-kind donations. Those are from Bluegrass Country Club, the Parks Department, the Public Works Department. Kenny Jones, are you here? Thank you. And the Rogers Group, $9,800. That's money we don't have to spend. So that's money. And how they feel about fire department, sheriff's department, EMS, police department is amazing. We've raised $63,640 in cash.
Awesome. That
For a grand $73,440 with in-kind gifts. So you give yourselves a hand because you all helped make this possible. And this man right here, this was his idea. Thank you for helping us make this a reality.
Thank you so much, Eddie, and your team. It is remarkable what you have done. I want to just say that, all kidding aside, my wife's grandfather was in one of the assisted living facilities here in town, and it seemed like every evening about 3 o'clock in the morning, there were some firemen at that facility because somebody had fallen, and several times Grandpa Ernie had fallen. They got up and they helped him. Mainly, I guess, we see them at car crashes, but our first responders, Sonny's, deputies, anytime we can ask for assistance from our first responders, from the sheriff's department, from the police department, from the fire department, they have stepped up and they have said, sure. So I want to let you know personally how much I appreciate the first responders in the community. And yes, when Eddie asked me what I thought about this project, I said, this is what Rotary does best. So thank you. We will have a celebration announcement at some point. Has the grant started being shipped yet?
Yes, it's at the port in India. So it's on the slow boat from China.
So everything revolves around that piece of granite, and apparently you just can't buy granite anywhere. You have to buy it at the manufacturers. I got a text this morning. I was extremely disappointed. Don Ames told me that today was his day to rearrange his sock drawer, and so he was going to be doing that this morning instead of coming to Rotary. Don, if you're listening, I hope you're having fun doing that. So in Don's place, we have Michelle Owens, who's going to do our buddy check. And Michelle will be ably assisted by the hammer. The hammer is back.
All right.
And I don't know how far down the list we had to go to get to me.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement. Well, thank you. And we all got new buddies today, so I hope you said hello to your new buddy. My new buddy is Jim Slockenshire. We've exchanged phone numbers and texts already this morning, so I hope everybody got an opportunity to say hello to their new buddy. But before we do that, I believe that Britton Payne was either the last one in or the first one for next week.
First one for next week, and since I didn't even see the list, if you don't know who my new buddy is, I'm going to give you $2.
Okay. And Brenda, your new buddy is Jonathan Hayes.
Jonathan, by the way, is helping Don rearrange his sock drawer.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of socks in there, I'm sure.
Well, I wonder how many socks are in Dawn's drawer. Anyway, hey Daniel, who's your new buddy?
My old buddy said he will not be here today because he can't be here.
And who's your new buddy?
I did get a text from my old buddy, Mitch, and he said I won't be at Rotary tomorrow in an early meeting, no face mask.
Oh, that was last week. This is this week. Who's your buddy this week? Oh, come on now.
My new buddy, I don't know who it is, but I'm going to take a guess.
Okay, yes.
Is it Keith Gunner?
No. That would have been a good one. No, Dr. Mose. There you go. All righty. Marshall, how are you this morning? Who's your new buddy? Oh, you get the gold star. Where'd you get that? Well, you have a gold star. All righty. Barbara Brennan, who's?
My new buddy is Sherry Hill, and she's not here today. And I just found out about it, so I don't know why, but I'll know from here on out.
There you go.
But you'll know next week.
Yes. And see, I'm sure that Dawn is so much better at this than I am.
You're doing great.
How am I doing? How about Scott Denton? Who's your buddy?
Judge Lewis Oliver.
Where's Judge Oliver this morning?
He's in court today.
Now that's a good one. Keep going with that. I'm sure what. See, I was gonna go along with that, but see, I've got lawyers that need. No. All right. Okay, Russ, who is your new buddy?
Diane Black.
And where's Diane this morning?
I don't know, and I just found out she was my buddy, and I don't know her phone number. But I will have that information next week.
Oh, well, there you go. If you want to give Milton $1. All righty. Hey, Heather. How are you? I haven't seen you forever. You good?
I'm good.
Oh, who's your new buddy?
That's a great question.
Okay. Nancy, who's your new buddy? There's your new buddy, right? All righty. Mary Poole, who's your new buddy?
That's so fun.
Well, there you go. Where's Joe this morning?
Is that you, Joe?
No, he's not here.
That's
I'll find him. I'm looking him up.
all righty. Brenna.
Yes, ma'am. Cheryl Brett is my new buddy, and she's not here, but I just found out about her this morning. So.
Okay, so you're thinking 50 cents? What do you think?
I will get my last dollar.
Okay. Let's see.
Hey, Michelle,
Yes,
I know who my buddy is.
I know, but you don't count.
She's taking lessons from Dawn.
Julie, who's your buddy?
This lovely first responder right here, the sheriff.
All right, let's see. Larry Lyons. Who's your new buddy?
Burkett Nelson.
Where is Burkett at? There he is. Very good, very good. All righty. Karen Mitchell. Who's your new buddy?
Christina Crotchet.
And where's Christina this morning?
I don't know, but I do know you are getting a great buddy because Jim Flockenser was my buddy.
Oh, he's like the best buddy ever. I was so excited. And he also has the best mustache ever.
Isn't Michelle so much nicer than Dawn to extort money from you?
All righty. Well, let's. Hey, Jan Woodard. Who's your buddy? Very good. Did you guys say hi to each other this morning? Very good. Okay. Everybody who did not say hello to your new buddy this morning, get out $1 and give it here to Milton. That's a good idea. Okay, now the follow-up, here's your follow-up. Every dollar that we put in there, we are giving to the community child care and to the Samaritan Center. So I'm extorting money for a good cause. And Beth, you want to start?
Yes, Chris, would you please stand? Yesterday, Chris and the Troop 75, how many scouts did you have yesterday show up? 9. 9 scouts went to Sanders Park and walked the shoreline, cleaning up debris, trunks, garbage from the shoreline. So the volunteer spirit is well and alive in the youth of Hendersonville. Chris, thanks for organizing that. Here's a happy buck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
I do. I have a happy and a sad buck, and I also have a buck because I haven't seen my new partner, Doug Turner, either. So we're going to go for that too. Anyway, sad buck is that I can't be here Saturday for cleanup. I had planned on that. Happy buck is because my anniversary bride and I are leaving town. So there's that. So $1 for not saying hi to my buddy who wasn't here. And then a happy and a sad for this weekend.
All right, anybody else happy?
Oh, William! You showed up. I thought you were in North Carolina.
Were you behind Brenda, or were you behind Brenda?
I was, no, I was in front of Brenda. I was way in front of Brenda. We were only like 5 minutes late, so I just hit the highlights there at the end. No, Brenda was way.
So he owes $1 for coming in after the Guardians closed.
I have $1 I have a guest today. I had a guest last week who was already a Rotary member. Jeremy Overfield is from Franklin. He's the new insurance rep down there for Country Financial. He does not know what Rotary is, so I brought him today so he can see what we do and what we're about.
Any other happy bucks?
Anybody else happy?
Anybody want me to replace Don with Michelle? By the way, I have a happy 20. The happy 20 is because my wife and I celebrated our anniversary on July 5th, which I, of course, remember. And I made a dinner reservation, and we went to dinner at a restaurant in Nashville. I just forgot to get the card, and I ordered the gift. But because I did so, I thought next business day was the next day. So I'm still waiting on the gift. So, but she loves me anyway. She told me that this morning as I was leaving. So that is my happy buck. 6 years of happy marriage to my wife, Amy. Oliver, you have a Rotarian of the month.
Whatever. Okay, it is time again for This Is Your Rotary. He was born right here in Hendersonville. Went to Hendersonville Elementary School, then on to Hendersonville High School, moved to Gallatin High School where he graduated as a member of the Green Wave. While in high school, he worked at a car wash, he worked at Kroger, he worked as a lifeguard. He was also on the speech and drama club. Russ. That's it, Russ. I didn't even get to the Nashville School of Law yet. What else did he do? He was president of the Spanish club. Ole. Whatever. Went on to the University of Tennessee, where he became a volunteer, and he joined promptly Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity, where he spent many happy evenings having dinner with his friends. He was there also with Peyton Manning while he was at school, and he met Sarah, his future wife, on a blind date, while at Tennessee, and he took her that evening after the restaurant to a dance at his fraternity. And blind date, I think she's still blind, and she's yeah, she must be still. Okay. So there they went. He majored in political science while he was at UT. Graduated from UT, came back here, went to work with his dad, and also joined the National School of Law, where he majored in law. Became a lawyer and now works as an attorney here in town. They have, he and Sarah have 2 children. Ella is 13, she goes to the T.W. Hunter, and Hayden is 10, and he goes to the Edison School. Worked for Dad while I was in law school. He was as a paralegal. He now works at Edwards & Edwards. He's one of the 2 partners in the club. He followed his dad, of course, in law after college. He likes World War II history, and I interviewed him for about 10 minutes to get all this information. And then we talked for about 30 more minutes about World War II and presidential history. He's really quite adept in all of that. He did the Ironman Louisville in 2015. Whoa. Pretty impressive. And what was your time?
11 hours and 58 minutes.
Ooh.
I won't mention my time. I didn't.
No one ever asked time, so you're the first one that's asked mine.
Mine was just short of 15 hours. So that was pretty impressive.
Short of 3 days.
Alright, Eddie Robertson and Jonathan Hayes brought him into the club, and he is a
Thank you, Russ. Russ is also a hard charger. He made his dad work on July 3rd. Yeah, everybody else was off, and Russ was like, oh no, I told my dad he had to come in. So with that, thank you, Russ, thank you, Oliver, and Mary Poole. Would you introduce our speaker?
Good morning, everybody. We are certainly in for a treat today. Today we have Jason Elkins, who is the owner of 100 Cups Consulting. Okay, honest. I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have heard of 100 Cups? I love it. And we also have his prize pupil here, so this is going to be good. Thank you for coming, Jennifer. For the last decade, Jason has grown his consulting business through relationship building and is now teaching those techniques through his 100 Cups Academy. He's been in Hendersonville for 26 years, but I think this is the most special thing about him. He had his first date with his bride on the 4th of July. I shared that with him since David and I had our first date on the 4th of July. Mine was at a gun club, his was at a more appropriate place, but it's lasted, so that's pretty good. He's an empty nester. We've got a daughter on her way, son trying to figure it out, but hey, that's life. So I want y'all to give a warm welcome for Jason Elkins.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks for, well, you were supposed to come here anyway, I guess, but I'm glad to be here speaking with you today. I've got a couple things that I want to share with you. I usually give a presentation that's an hour long, and she said that's fine, you always stay for the entire time. So, I'm kidding. That's okay. All right, is everybody awake? All right, so what I want to talk about is really relationship building and connecting. Most of the audiences that I'm in front of are business people. I assume there are a lot of business folks here, but maybe you're not in business, but if you are part of the Rotary or another organization, you can still take these principles. This is for better development of relationships, which lead to absolutely amazing things. So I'm going to leave you just a couple things with the time that we have allotted. The first one is when you're meeting with somebody, I want you to think about the time that you're talking and the time that you're listening. If you talk 30% of the time, and the person that you're meeting with is talking 70% of the time, statistics say that they will actually feel like they know you better. So if you let people talk, when they leave, they feel like they have a better connection with you. So this is an important thing that a lot of sales and business people miss. They want to go in with their pitch deck, with their presentation, with their pamphlet, whatever that is that they walk through, and they have to get through their pitch deck. I was consulting with a company and in a marketing capacity, and someone came in to pitch them on something, and she looked at me and I said, I'll handle it. So I went and had a conversation with this person that was trying to sell some advertising that day. And after about a third of the way through this very large folder, I said, man, this isn't going to be a fit for this organization. And he looked at me and he said, let me get through my presentation. There was no way that we were going to do business with this person. The goal for them was very transactional. It wasn't relational. And today, there's so much information available on a cell phone. I can connect to the internet and find how many lawyers in the city?
That's a good question.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. So how can he differentiate himself? He has to listen to people that are coming in to get services from them. It's very important. The other thing that I would suggest when you're meeting with somebody, especially in a prospecting kind of a call or a meeting, is you want to lead with your best. And what I mean by this is, let's say that, tell me your name again.
Me? Russ.
Let's say Russ and I had a meeting, and he was talking about something that he was wanting to do with his business as far as marketing, social marketing, digital media is a specialty of mine. Instead of just saying, well, if you hire me, I will give you all of the secrets that lawyers can use today. I'm not going to do that. If we were to meet, even in that period of an hour, I would share with him anything that I thought might make an impact, might actually move the needle for him and his company. And a lot of business consultants will tell you, get the deal first. It's intellectual property that you're giving away. But the truth is, because of the influx of information and how much we have at our disposal at any time right now, on our cell phones, through the internet, I can get a ton of information for free if I take the time to do that. So the way that I look at it is, if I can show him that I can move the needle or make an impact, I'm more likely to get a call to maybe do some business together. So always, always lead with your best. So listen 70% of the time, talk 30. Lead with your best information. And let me just tell you a quick story. If you are thinking of who you need to contact or connect with, on paper, if you're doing business, you're looking for CEOs, leaders, decision makers within an organization, right? That's what we're taught as salespeople. Connect with the people at the very top that are making decisions. It's something that I learned early on. Let me tell you a story about that. When I started looking at who I'm going to connect with for that day or for that week, I started thinking about who's in the periphery that I might be missing, that might be easier to get a meeting with, that might be willing to sit down and talk to me, that is a person of influence within an organization. So for me, as an example, there's a gentleman named Chris that was a salesperson for 94 FM The Fish. On paper, he would not look like a great connection for me. He's out there selling. He's never going to buy digital services from me. That's not his decision point. He's not going to be the one doing that. However, what I realized is Chris was a very aggressive salesperson, and he connected with maybe 1,000 businesses a year. And he would get to a certain point with those folks, and I would get a phone call, and he would say, can you come in and talk to them about digital marketing? He was on the periphery of my view, but he was a person of influence, and he was out there every day. So where can you get these leads from? It's not just going to the top of an organization. It's connecting with the people that are in the periphery. What I would look at is who are the people that are out there getting things done that know a lot of people that you can connect with, that might be able to refer you some service. Guess what? There's somebody in this room that's very connected right now that did this exact concept of having 100 cups of coffee with 100 people, and that's Jennifer Perry. She knows everybody, right? Who knows Jennifer Perry? Okay, I mean, this isn't even fair, it's not even fair, right? So, there's a few that you still need coffee meetings with Perry. The idea, the way that this all started, is I was working for an 800-pound gorilla website company, and that job, after being there for several years, ended abruptly. I don't know if you ever had this experience, but I was working there one day, and then the next day, I was not working there. And I decided that I really didn't want to go back to work for somebody else if I didn't have to. So I started this concept of, if I just took a period of time, for me that was 100 days, and I met with enough people, 100, one a day, for that period of time, could I start my own consulting company? What I was going to do is I was going to listen and I was going to lead with my best. That was 10 years ago. That was such an eye-opener for me. After about 30 meetings, I started getting some checks from some businesses that brought me in to help them with their digital marketing. And one thing that I know is, even for as much as I love being around people, and I love working with people, and I love my clients and spending time with them, I always know that my best client is potentially my next one. You can't ever stop, right? We were not planning for the world to shut down for months at a time this year. That was not in the cards for 2020. I have so many clients that had their best year ever in 2019, could not wait for this year to get going, and were just absolutely rocking, and their business went whoosh, just absolutely hit a wall. What I would recommend for all of you is to not stop networking, not stop connecting with people. You will be remembered during this time for how you led, for how you acted during this time. We've got memories coming up on Facebook from last year. Guess what? They're going to come up on Facebook a year from now. We'll remember how we acted and how we interacted with people. Are you still running your business? Are you still keeping a positive mindset? Are you still connecting with people? Well, if you don't want to do it in person, that's okay. There's a lot of people watching on Facebook Live right now. Zoom, a phone, like just an actual phone call with somebody. We can still have meetings on the phone. That's great. Just make sure that you are spending time doing the listening first. I'm going to tell you one more quick story. How am I doing on time? You're good. All right. If you are thinking about how you can connect with somebody better, there's one more thing that I'm seeing is can be lacking at some point, and that is likability. So some people have meetings, and they'll be done with that meeting, and they're like, man, I don't know, we just didn't connect. We just didn't really get along with each other. There wasn't that spark that said, hey, we could work together. And there's a few things that you can do to actually improve this. One is, this is my favorite concept when I meet with somebody. I want to think, when I'm meeting with them, that they're holding a sign that says, make me feel important. So then when I go into that meeting, it's not about me, it's about getting information from that person, letting them talk 70% of the time, making sure they feel respected, listened to, heard. Sometimes it's just a little encouragement, like, yeah, you can do that, or that's great. Or maybe it's a piece of information that I can give them. But I always want them to leave that meeting feeling more positive in some way than they were when they got there. And if we switch that around, where instead of I'm showing up to sell a product or sell a service, and the thought process is, how can I make this other person feel important? I promise you, your clients will be better connected with you, you'll have better sales, and you'll actually have an easier way to go about doing business. The concept of it's just business has always bothered me. And the reason is that usually comes before someone does something bad to you. It's just business is what you hear right before the hammer drops, right? Or right before you get moved somewhere. Am I right? Right? I would love to be in a world, in an environment, maybe in a county, where it's just business is a positive thing. And that's going to come from connecting, listening, leading with your best, and focusing on the other person instead of just a transaction. We're building relationships. I'm going to open this up for a couple of questions, and then we'll wrap up. Go ahead.
I read something, I guess it was yesterday, that U.S. government is banning social media apps in China, such as TikTok.
They own TikTok.
Part of that, I'm not sure. Can you expand on that? Do you have any idea of what's going on there and how it's going to affect us?
Well, China is a pretty locked up country. So, and if you look at the technology behind TikTok, it's a little scary about the information that they're gathering on us. I say that not actually knowing what the information is on Facebook or Instagram, right? So they might all be somewhat complicit. The fact is, TikTok was built in that country. So it's interesting to me that they're picking on that organization versus others. But the concept of our social media impacting kind of relationships, I think it does in a negative way, but we can use it in a positive way.
They said that about TV too.
And radio. I would recommend, let's not say anything on social media that we wouldn't say in person to somebody. We just all agree that that's a good idea. Just in general. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. Make sure that's good. Anybody else? If you need coffee and you want to meet sometime, you can find me on social media under Jason Elkins. I have a class that's teaching these concepts that launches actually tomorrow. I do these about every 6 weeks. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can find me on. Go ahead.
What if you're watching social media and suddenly you see something that you know is not true? That happens over and over as I watch TV news. And I want to say, hey, what I do say to the TV, that's not true. But I could tell you what it is, but I don't think I should say it in here.
Sometimes the people that are posting those things don't care. Yeah. It's true or not. So I don't think you're going to change anybody's mind in an argument there. When I'm dealing with a business and they have somebody post something negative on their social media, my request to them, or my suggestion to them is always take it offline, take it outside, get them to call you, have a meeting, do something to fix that. Even the public fixing, like, well, actually what really happened was blah, 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 blah. Now you're just getting somebody upset. And there's this truth that I found, and that is angry people have more time than you do.
That's right.
We got another question over here.
Denver.
Related to marketing and social media. So I feel like we saw when quarantine hit and everybody was bored to death, we saw an influx of people on social media, and now I feel like that's kind of leveled off. What trends are you seeing, and how do you think that this pandemic is going to change the way that we do business forever?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll just give you just a couple quick things. One is we will be having more offline meetings for the rest of our lives. We'll be having more remote work for the rest of our lives. So being comfortable in a digital setting, a face-to-face setting, and a digital space is going to be more and more important for business people. Being comfortable. I've heard somebody say, I am so sick of Zoom meetings, I'm not doing them anymore. I'm like, well, you might be without business for a while. Because everybody else is, because that's just the foundation now. Connecting through those apps is a foundational piece for business. One trend that I will suggest, if you're doing business and you're using social media for business, Instagram seems to be this outlier app right now that's continuing to grow and will continue to add things like one-click buys. So I'm seeing this thing on Instagram, I can just click it, opens a web page, I can purchase that item right there. Facebook has been trying to do this thing for a long time, but there's something about Instagram, it's kind of like Facebook without all the craziness that happens in the comment section. And people are attracted to it, and it's the only social media app right now that's skewing both older and younger. Every social media app typically has one demographic that they're focused on. Instagram has a variety of demographics that they're connected to, that they continue to have creators and also continue to have viewers of those apps. So that's something that I'm noticing as more and more companies are trying to do business online. Instagram can be an effective way to do that. Thank you.
Last question.
Go ahead.
Is there an app where I can have a digital image or bot of me attend a Zoom meeting for me?
Probably. It probably is. I'd recommend you just be there, be fully present, and listen. Okay?
Thank you, Jason. We, as a donation to the Gene Brown Elementary School, ask our speakers to please sign a book, which we will donate. This one is aptly named The Losers Club. I'm going to read it before we send it in, because it sounds like something that I would appreciate. And while Jason is doing that, I'm going to ask for our thought for the day, Mr. Incredible Kim Kim.
Bob.
No, I'm gonna quote from William Shakespeare and Albert Einstein. They explain perfectly what I go through 100 years ago. I sometimes wonder how people looking into the window, some of them see the stars, some of them see nothing but the mud. So William Shakespeare said, there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Wow, right? And Albert Einstein said the exact same thing. The most important decision you will ever make is whether you decide to live in a universe that is supportive and friendly, or one that is hostile and unkind. You choose. Thank you.